we're not gonna downgrade. If you downgrade, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I'm gonna need you to like watch this video a couple of times.
Oh girl, focus on me. Unlock potential that you didn't know you had in you. Fuck that nigga.
Baby girl, we cannot be settling in 2020. If you are in a relationship where your spouse is mentally abusive, and what I mean by mentally is the things that he says to you are not the nicest. He calls you out of your name when you say something to him, and your feelings are very hurt, and you want him to acknowledge that he's hurt your feelings. He just brushes it off like it's nothing. That's a problem, you guys. If you are having a moment where you have a bad day and you just need your man to uplift you in those moments and remind you that you are that bitch, and he can't do that at all, that's a problem. If he just kind of tells you, look, I'm gonna need you to get it together because you're doing way too much, too much. You don't want to be with somebody like that, and that is red flag. If your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is that you call each other, your bae, boo thing, if they are mentally, emotionally abusive towards you and they put you down when it is their job to help uplift you, especially when you're going through tough times. Don't nobody got time to be going through a tough time and then to be having to deal with somebody who is not even acknowledging the things that they're going through and then adding to the pain that they're already experiencing. If you are constantly, you know, just trying to uplift them and they could care less, or they're not putting into you spiritually, emotionally, and they are bringing you down here when it comes to your mental, your emotional, your physical, whatever it is, when you put on an outfit, sis, and your body is banging, your curves, your tatas are sitting real nice and the booty is looking real good, and what your man has to say is,
where you going with that on? Oh, you trying to get chose tonight?
If that's more so what you're getting because he's not confident in himself as a man, instead of giving you, yes, you looking real good, I can't wait for you to come back home to me, or yes, we're going out tonight and I'm gonna need you to put on the tightest, sexiest dress because I'm gonna be looking good and I need you to match my fly. If that's not what he's giving you, then to the left, what did he say? He's gonna need to go to the left, babe, because that's not what we need at all, and you deserve so much better than that. Another way to determine if you are settling in these times is if you are with somebody for their potential. You know that for the most part, they're a good guy. They, you know, they got it for the most part together. Maybe they got a bag, but they don't got a full bag. Like, you know, they're not broke. They're barely over broke, but they're not well off. And, you know, they're nice from time to time, but it's not consistent. But for the most part, you know, it's okay. If you are there for their potential of what they could be based off of what you're experiencing now, that's a problem. That's a problem, because you do not know, you don't know what the future holds for you, and you never want to get into a relationship or stay in a relationship for someone's potential. It's one thing if they have treated you good, maybe they don't have the money yet, but they're hardworking, you know that they're a boss, they're just, that opportunity, their breakthrough hasn't come yet, but it is coming, and they treat you well, they do the most that they could possibly do for you, just as you do for them, because it's a relationship. Like, you got to take care of one another. So if you are with somebody that is like that and they just haven't had their breakthrough, and you know that the potential is in that breakthrough, that's one thing. It's another thing if they treat you horribly, you're unhappy, behind closed doors, you not really feeling it, but when you get out in front of people, you're like, yes, my man is so good, I'm so happy. If you're doing all that, but then the moment you get home, you're like, this, ugh, I hate him. If you're having those experiences, then it's probably time for you to let go of that relationship and understand that we ain't got time to be waiting for somebody's potential, especially nobody new. No, we're not going to do that. We need to work on ourselves and come with something, and we need them to do the same. And it's one thing for you guys to build together, but you've already met an amazing person. You guys are just pushing each other to be greater, and for him to push you to your full potential and you do the same, but you are two good people who are well-rounded, now that's a catch. But if that's not what you're experiencing, to the left. Girl, what is your gut telling you? You know when you get that feeling and your gut just feels like something ain't right, and you know deep down that something is not right in a situation, or maybe you've been there a little bit too long, or you at the club and it just don't feel right, where you're like, it's time for me to go. Like the energy is just off, whatever it is. You get those same gut feelings when you're in a relationship. And a lot of the times we tend to ignore them, which is actually red flags. We ignore those red flags and we come up with excuses for why we're experiencing what it is that we're experiencing, knowing that that is red flags. We can call it red flags. We can call it God. We can call it our angels, whatever it is. Somebody is like, hello. Do you not see what's going on? I need you to get out now. And you're just like,
Cannot see, I'm legally blind. That's my story, I'm sticking to it.
if you are that person, you need to open your eyes. Open your eyes wide and realize that we do not have time to be ignoring these red flags, these gut feelings. It's telling you something for a reason. If you, example, had a really bad day and you just want to go home to your man, and you want your man, you know, you've kind of grown up, you know what type of man you want to be with, and you're just like, man, it would be so nice for my man to pray with me in these moments. And he's like, girl, I'm trying to play this video game. I don't know what you're talking about. You need to get out your feelings. If that's what you're going home to and your gut is telling you, sis, why are you here? Sis, get out. He ain't gonna change. It's gonna be you that's gonna have to do the changing. If you are feeling that like that constantly, then that's something you don't want to ignore. You want to, it's very hard to get out of a relationship, especially when you've been into for a very long time, but it's gonna be so much easier in the end if you get out now versus waiting. And now you got kids, now you're married, now you're feeling even more stuck, when it didn't have to be that way. But remember, you're never stuck. You're never stuck. You can get out, but it's gonna take you being strong enough to understand and pray about it and get on out of there. Another way to determine if you are settling in a relationship, if your circle, your social circle has come to you multiple times about the person that you are dating because they are very concerned, and these are people that truly do love and care about you, if they're coming to you with concerns because of things that you have told them, they're not with that person. So the things that you're telling to them that you're just like, I just need to vent, they're not in the relationship, and they've probably been through some stuff as well to be able to acknowledge what's going on and see those red flags that you aren't seeing. So you need to be aware of who your circle is, first of all. If those are people that you trust and love, and the energy that they're giving you about that person is negative, or they're just like, this don't, A and B is not making sense. 1 + 1 is not equaling 2. It's equaling 100, like, because you got 100 problems in your relationship. If that's what you're getting, then you probably need to take a step back and acknowledge those things. Acknowledge what your gut is telling you. Acknowledge if nobody has anything nice to say about that person, or if what they're telling you is, well, I mean, if you're happy, then I'm happy. If that's what you're getting, then it's more so somebody telling you, that's not something I would be trying to deal with, but if you want to deal with that, then you go ahead and do that, and I'm going to support you. But I really believe that you can do better. If your friends are constantly telling you, sis, you could do way better. If that's what you're constantly hearing, it's a reason why, and it's probably because you can do better, but you have to be willing to hold off on what is going on here and put the pieces together, because the puzzle will come together and it'll make sense. But you just got to open your eyes so that you can acknowledge what it is that people are telling you, because they can see things on the outside that you can't see. And if you're constantly every month having to tell people about problems that are going on in your relationship, that's not normal. You shouldn't be having really drastic, draining problems every month in a relationship. You're gonna constantly go through things with your spouse. That is normal. But if you guys are not able to get past those things, and that person is not willing to open their heart up to you to try to work on those things with you, baby, get out. Last but not least is going to be, what is your reason for being with them? Your honest reason. When you were behind closed doors, the door has shut, and you are on the other side with them, and you're looking at them. Ask yourself, why am I here? When they are triggering you, when they are actually really hurting your feelings, like things that you just shouldn't do in a relationship, no matter what you're kind of going through, if it's consistent, if in those moments you need to ask yourself, why am I here? Honestly, if your reason for being there is because you have a fear of being alone, you don't want to start over with somebody new, you have a fear that there will not be somebody new, you are afraid to really get to know you and be you and, you know, do it up, be single, you're afraid of that life, or just simply you've put a lot of time and energy into that relationship and you have a fear of them being successful once you guys break up, or you have a fear that there will be somebody else that comes in and is able to reap off of what it is that you put in all them days where you was getting cussed out and you was cussing them out and y'all was, you know, clapping it up, doing it up. You went through all of that just for the next female to be, you know, living her best life. I understand that, but it's not worth it, because best believe if that person hasn't taken the time to work on themselves at all, which they're not going to. So if that's the case, then that new person is going to, yeah, they're going to get the luxurious part that you didn't get, the time and energy that you put in. They're going to reap off of that. I mean, that's just the honest truth, you know, especially if they are some type of go-getter in some way, the person that you were with. But they're also going to experience those things that you went through. Because if you're coming to that person and you're like, hey, you're really hurting my feelings, I wish that you would be able to acknowledge when you hurt my feelings, or, you know, I just wish sometimes you would pray with me, just simply be more loving and caring. And they're like, bro, you tripping, like you doing way too much, you need to chill out with all that. If they're not able to even see it, see what's going on in the relationship with you, what makes you think they're going to be able to see it with this person? They're not. And if you are able to get yourself out of this relationship, you have already taken yourself up an extra level, because you're no longer going to be, hey, that was too many red flags. So when new bae comes in, new bae is going to be up here or up here. Okay, we're not gonna downgrade. If you downgrade, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I'm gonna need you to like watch this video a couple times. But when you move on, you are going to upgrade. And what are they gonna do? If they couldn't acknowledge the things that you were saying and see it as the truth, they're going to downgrade. That girl or guy may have some great qualities about them, but as for standing up for themselves and seeing this person for who they truly are, they're not going to. This is a broken person at this point, so they're gonna attract another broken person. You just slid your way out of there. So if you're feeling like you're confused on why you're even in this relationship, then you probably don't need to be in it. If your reasons for wanting to be in that relationship aren't healthy or do not benefit you in a sense, then you need to get out, you guys. You just need to get out. And I hope that this video right here helps somebody who is going through this, who maybe feel like they're settling, who maybe other people are telling them that they're settling and they are unsure. I hope that this video helps you guys, and do not forget to comment and let me know if it helps in any sort of kind of way. Bye guys.